And we are live. What's good, y'all? It's your man DL Saint. Welcome. I really want to know podcast, man. How y'all feeling out there, bro? How y'all feeling? I'm laughing. I'm just getting started, and I looked at the comments right away. And we got Brother Pitney in the building. What's good? They're all 304s. That's it. That's the podcast. Good night. Boy, you wild. But, yeah, bro, that's the show today. Like, we going to talk about it, man. Are all women, and when we're talking about all women, we're talking about westernized women, American women, whatever. Are all women 304s? No, but... And we are live. What's good, y'all? Welcome to the I Really Want to Know podcast, y'all. Yes, some indeed, man. So yeah, man, we definitely gonna have this conversation. I was watching Stay Slick with Kid. Y'all know that Stay Slick with Kid, he's the man over there in the UK, bro. Down to Marco to him.
Down to Marco.
Kid does this show where he'll bring women on. It's a 1v1 conversation on his sofa, and they're just talking about sexual dynamics, and he's really trying to help women get the man that they want. That's the whole purpose, I believe, of his podcast. He even has a community that he started where he helps women actually do this. Like, because it's one thing to have your podcast and talk about these things, but if you really want to help someone get there, you gotta, you gotta get your hands dirty, bro. You gotta get in the trenches with them, which I learned very early on, helping dudes out. Like, man, if you really want to know what's up, man, we got to go out. As you call it coaching, call it building a community and, whatever. I don't know. Call it whatever you want to call it. Life improvement. But you can't just do it via Zoom. I know there's a lot of people are like, oh, man, I could change my life just by reading books and watching content and, maybe jumped on a Zoom call here and there. Maybe, but I think for me, the best way to learn is actually get out here in the trenches so people can see exactly what you're doing and square you away. Now, talking about Kit, he does that with women. He has a community he's built, and these women come in, and he helps these women to understand the mindset of the dudes that they're going after. And we all know that they're going after the top tier guys. I mean, it is what it is. People say what you want about hypergamy, but I've said this years before when I first started. Hypergamy is a far superior dating strategy than the way we do it. She's got a big butt and a smile. Let's smash. Dudes don't care. There are dudes out there who will just take not the lowest hanging fruit, but the fruit that done fell off the tree. Just like we said when Dose of Game was in the chat that one time. They'll take that fruit that has fallen from the tree, rolled down the hill, man, and rolled through all the poop and all the pee and everything else, man. Got maggots in it, got worms in it. They'll pick that up, brush it off, and this is the piece of fruit I want. Nah, you know what I mean? You need to be the guy that's going to climb the tree, get to the top, and get the best fruit, get that prime fruit. It's going to take some work. So same thing with women. Women need to understand what they up against. You really want a top tier man? You really want a high value man? Well, this is what's going to happen. This is how it goes down. Now, if you really just want someone to share your life with and to grow with, that top tier dude might not be the one that you need. Might be what you want, but it might not be what you need. What you need is one of these bottom 80 dudes, one of these regular guys who are going to grow with you. So I believe that's what Kid is doing. And shout out to him for even attempting it. You know what I mean? It's a brilliant idea, and I hope he's successful, because if he's successful, that means women will be successful, finding the guys that they want. But every now and then he'll bring on some dudes on his platform. He'll bring on a top tier guy or a guy who's out there killing it in the dating game and have the conversation. So this is a clip from one of those conversations. And this topic came up about women. Are all women 304s? You know what I mean? They talk about the whole phase and all that. And I mean, all women can be. Right? That's my take on it. All women can be. Do they act on it? They shouldn't act on it with every dude, not with every Tom, Dick, and Tyrone that they meet. You feel me? They shouldn't, but some do. A lot of young women today, because they really just want attention, they'll use whatever they have to use to get said attention from that guy. And they know instinctively on some level that they're competing with all these other women for this dude. So what's the go-to? The go-to is the sex. Women believe that I'm going to give him my sex. It's the best sex ever. This Foxy Brown is the best Foxy Brown he's ever had, he's ever going to have. I'm going to give him this, and then I'm going to win. And this is how they lose every single time. Ladies, hold out. If you're trying to lock down a top tier dude, you need to, first of all, be willing to hold out on the sex. I'm not saying wait till marriage, but I'm saying at least wait till after the first 3 or 4 days. You know what I'm saying? Because that's, like I said, a 3-day rule. That was a rule I lived by. I'm out here in the streets doing my thing. I meet you first 3 days or the first 3 dates. Like the first 3 times I encounter you, we smashing. And if we don't, I move on to the next one. Why? Because I wasn't trying to have a serious relationship. I'm out here just trying to bust, man. I'm trying to do it. Big up to the girls who flex the best, man. That's what I'm trying to do. Just like Frisco Kid.
You know what I have to tell them, say? Big up my girl on the side, cause of them flex the best. You know, man, up to something what them girl you possess.
That's what I was trying to do. Now that once I got older and I was looking for something more long term, it was crazy because my game was so honed in. Like I didn't even realize that it was hard for me not to smash within the first 3 days. Within the first 3 encounters. And those times that I didn't smash, those women drove me through it. This is why I'm always hammering down, to you guys. You got to protect your emotions. Men love differently than women. So protect your emotions. Don't let your emotions out until you are sure she's the one. How long will that take, Unc? About 2 years. You're going to need to vet for at least 2 years. We got Brother Smeebles in the building. What's good? Checking in from down under, man. I hope all is well out there, bro. I have not been keeping up on my international news, man. I hope all is well on your side of the planet. It's getting crazy on this side of the planet, bro. Hold off on your plans to come visit America for a little bit, fam. Hold off on those plans, because we got law enforcement in the streets covering their face up, man. It's kind of crazy in some of these cities in America, bro. We got, National Guard members being put on the streets with their weapons. We just blew up a Venezuelan boat in national waters. We think the boat was trafficking drugs, but we don't know. We blew it up. There's a lot going on right now. Epstein stuff. I would say anybody thinking about coming to the U.S. right now, maybe hold off on that. I would say hold off on that for a minute till we figure out what's going to happen. I was just thinking about that, guys. My bad to get sidetracked, but I see my brother Smeebles in here, and I'm like, yo, Smeebles, before you come over here, just hold on. If you haven't bought your ticket yet, don't buy it. Just don't buy it. You know what I mean? Shoot over to Japan real quick instead. But back to what we were talking about. Fellas, y'all got to really protect y'all emotions, man, because if you let your emotions out with the wrong woman, it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you. You're going to fall in love with her, and she's going to be doing whatever it is she's doing. And by the time you figure it out, you start seeing the red flags, you're going to ignore them because you've already let your emotions out. We attach differently than women do. It is what it is, right? And, I just want to go on a record now. I am just a regular dude. I don't have any letters behind my name. I don't have any certifications. I don't have any doctorates or master's degrees or anything like that. So don't think that I'm a Sadia Khan over here. I'm just letting you know what I've seen, in my 50 plus decades. 5 plus decades. I say 50 decades? I ain't that old, y'all. My 5 plus decades on this planet. So, this is just an old dude who's been in the streets and I've seen it, right? So when it comes to are all women 304s, y'all remember that song that Ice Cube did back in the day, man? It's when he was still with NWA. It's called "The Bitch Is a Bitch." You guys remember that song? It's one of the verses in that song is the title "Bitch" don't apply to all women, but all women have a little bitch in them. Like it's like a disease that plagued their character. You know what I mean? Taking the women of America, something like that. If you haven't heard that song, go listen to it. Pull up the lyrics as you're listening to it. It's like that. I think that to say that are all women 304s, I ain't saying they all 304s. I ain't saying they all chinga heads. They all, out there smashing like that. They all, side chicks. But they have that in them. And dudes don't realize how sexual women are. And just like dudes are doing what they're doing and thinking what they're thinking, women are doing the same thing. You know what I mean? So they don't have the sex drive that we have because they don't have the testosterone that we have. At least maybe they have the testosterone that some of these young dudes have. Because these new dudes coming out with no testosterone at all. They low T like a big champ. Maybe they got as much testosterone as those dudes, but they don't have the amount of testosterone that most men have. So their sex drive is there, but then, you know, they get that fixed real quick. You know what I mean? They get their fix in and they good. Right? So, but where dudes will be like, get your fix in, you good for a moment, and then you want another, you know what I mean? So, but nah, man, women, they find the right dude, they're going to be just as freaky as you can imagine them to be. I've seen that with women who are the girls next door, you know, the preacher's daughter, the thug chicks on the streets. You know, I've seen it with every class of woman. Like, if she's into you, bro, she's going to give you all of her, bro, and it's going to be, yeah, it's going to be that. It's going to be that. Yeah, look at Smith was just like, yeah, he's holding out for real. He's like, he's selling things up. Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. Prepping for big things happening coming in a year. That's what's up, man. I hope everything goes well for you because we're doing big things over here, man. I'm working on a website as we speak, branching out into consulting, not just with coaching for the dating thing, but business consulting, like with entertainment stuff that we're doing. So we're doing the same thing over here, bro. My brother and I are really making some moves. We're going to do a show. I'm going to do a show here probably within the next 4 or 5 months just to talk about the business stuff, man, and doing things right, paperwork side, like structure, you know, talking about LLC versus S Corp versus C Corp, talking about setting up bank accounts, talking about leveraging your assets, you know, getting assets. What's an asset? You know what I mean? The things that you can do as a business and or corporation versus doing it as an individual. We're going to talk about that, bro, because there's been a lot going on, and I'm really excited. And my brother's like pushing really hard and making big things happen, man. So I look forward to sharing that with y'all, man. So I'm glad, Schmeebles, that you, you know, taking your time. I do look forward to meeting you, brother, in person. I can't wait to meet you. Maybe I'll come over there before you make it over here, bro. You know what I mean? Maybe something like that'll happen because I do want to see Australia and New Zealand. So we'll see. Brother Petney's like, yeah, in 2025, if you're not a guy dealing with multiple women, you're sharing your women with multiple men, whatever you know it, whether you know it or not. Facts. Facts, bro. Facts. Facts. You know what I mean? That's yeah. I meant to hit the Don Marco. Hit the wrong button. No, but that was a Don Marco for sure. You got to understand how the game is going today, guys. There's just no way around it. You can put your head in the sand if you want to, but you need to understand it. This is the game, bro. And like I said, don't hate the players. You can hate the game if you want to, but don't hate the players. But what you really need to do, game yourself up to get good at this game and master it. Because you were born into this game, and in this game you shall die. That's just how it works, fellas. Brother Donnie's in the building. What's good, fam? Like, facts, fellas. Get in the gym, eat right, get your T levels, and your T levels will be all right, bro. Yeah, we got a problem with low testosterone over here in this country, man. It's crazy. I don't know if it's like that in all first world nations, but here in America, bro, doctors are talking about it like, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. And guess what? The women know it. If you're a low T dude, man, a woman is not dealing with you, bro. She's not going to deal with you. You're not going to be able to scratch that itch. You know what I mean? You're not going to be able to satisfy that need. So just understand that, bro. So yeah, get into the gym and start doing stuff. Your body works if you get out there and, you know, get off your butt and do something, man. So yeah, this low T thing is crazy. So back to it, man. Are all women 304s? Like I said, not saying they're all 304s, but there's a 304 in every woman. And as a dude, especially the dude that she's into, you want to be able to crack that code, so to speak, so you can get to know that part of your woman, bro. For sure. For sure. Now, it takes, you know, unfortunately, you're going to have to get out here in the streets and you're going to have to see for yourself how this works. You know, so many dudes out here like, man, you know, you preaching going out here and being promiscuous and going out here and be an F-boy, you'll get smashing all these women. All right, bro, I don't know what other method to use to get that experience, because you need that experience, bro. I'm not saying go out and get 1,000 of them or 100,000 of them or whatever, but I'm saying to go out there and at least bag you a few, bro. You need that experience, especially the intimate experience in the bedroom or in the living room or in the car. You need to know what you're doing, bro. You need to know. Like, you need to know how to make those moves, because a woman could be like with it one moment, and then you're messing around, and it's like, is that it? Is that it? You poking around, you probing around down there. Is that it? Is that it? Is that it? She's like, no. Now she's tired of it, bro. She done moved on. It's like, you know what? I'm done. She goes from lava hot to ice cold. And if that happens, that's on you. So you're going to have, where do you get to practice? Well, you got to, find some women who are probably as inexperienced as you are. Like, when you're younger, you just kind of probe and whatever. And then you have to continue to learn your game and continue to get this experience. I don't know any other way to do it. Now, a lot of guys are like, well, you could pay the pros. I don't like that idea. Like, sure, you can pay the pros, I guess, but I don't particularly like that idea. It's really a shortcut, and it doesn't help you. It's not an improvement on your game. That's not showing you what you need to do. You're not going to be able to learn to read body language and all that just by going up, here's the money, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. That doesn't help you. Yeah, it gets the mission accomplished, but you don't know how to have a relationship. And it's a lot of dudes in the bottom 80, bro. That's all they do. That's the problem with the simpletons of the world. That's the problem with these simps. They go out here and they just pay. So you gotta, it is what it is, bro. Shmeeble's got a test. He got a T test, right? 2 weeks ago. Range is crazy low. Why is it? I didn't know that, man. And the range for low T is crazy low. I've never had a test. I mean, as an old guy, we go in and they start testing for that when you get older, especially when you get out your 40s. And I never had any problems. They told me I was good. You know what I mean? I was good. Man, according to some content creators, you need 50 sexual partners, bro. Whew, that's a big number. That's a big number. I don't think you need that many. I know for a fact you don't need that many. That's a lot. That's a lot of exposure. Because you're learning. You can, if you're going to hit that many, if that's your goal is to go out and be with that many women, man, safe sex is the best sex for you. Make sure, and I'm not even worried about children. Worried about these diseases that are swimming around out here. So if you're gonna go out here and you're gonna smash 50 women, you'll certainly have the experience that I was talking about if you get 50 of them. But you know what you're doing. You'll be able to read body language. You'll be able to develop your game to a really good point well before you hit that number. That's a lot, bro. That's a big number, man. 50, that's a big number. And another thing too, like, really don't bog yourself down with body count per se. People always talking about body count. It's got to be this, it's got to be that. People asking your body count, men asking men their body count. Here's the thing with body count, man. Like, dudes gonna lie up and women are gonna lie down. So it is what it is. It's make sure that you're learning something with each encounter, right? You want to be able to determine which girls are the loose girls. Because if you got a body count of 50 with just really loose girls and pros, and you've been paying them, then, I mean, is that even, I mean, yeah, that's the number, but is that a real number? Like, what did you gain out of that 50? But if you got a hard fought 8, like you got 8 quality women who were into you and it took you a little time and you were able to get there, and and the relationship didn't work, but you were able to bounce back and get you another one, that 8 is going to be way more beneficial for you. And it's going to really help your confidence level and all that. Like, all right, I know what I'm doing. Like, you don't necessarily need 50. That's a lot. You know what I mean? But hey, it is what it is. That's what you want to do it. Right? And then, like I said, people be asking me, like, what's your body count, Unc? I ain't gonna tell you. You know what I mean? It is somewhere between 1 and 1,000. It's somewhere in that range. Right? I can tell you that. Well, actually, it's more than 2, right? Because I got 2 kids. So, and I'm not the kind of guy that's going to raise somebody else's child, right? I got DNA tests on both my children. So it's somewhere between 2, let's say it's somewhere between 2 and 2,000. But it's not the number, guys. And I want y'all to understand that. It's not the number. It's the experience you gain through the pursuit. That's the key. And that's what's going to give you your confidence. And that's what's going to carry you on to the next one. And again, you're looking for the girls who are loose. You're looking for the girls who like to lie. Like, how can you look at a Sadia Khan and know, like, within a conversation or two, like, all right, she's on one. right? Like the whole thing with Sadia Khan when it came out, like, oh, she's a side piece, this and that. Yeah. She, you know, it would take a little bit of time, but once you sat down with her one-on-one or once you were in the room with her, you'll be able to figure it out pretty quick, like what type of woman she is. Because I remember when she first came out, I'm looking at her fingers. One of the things I always do in media, anybody who's in media, I'm looking to see if the woman has a wedding ring on. And I think she was wearing one. So, but again, and she's telling people she's married, right? She's kind of alluding to it. She'll say she's married and she'll allude to something. She'll say something about her husband or her husband. Like, what? What did you say? Even on the Auburn Priest thing, she was saying, my husband is right here. There was nobody standing next to her. Right? You need to learn through your experience with women, like, all right, she lying. Right now you got to figure out why she's lying. And then once you become a, you know, you mixing it up with top tier dudes, then you'll find out why she's lying. Like, yeah, Saint smashed her. You know what I mean? Brother Pitt hit that. She's in Australia. Yeah, Smeebles was saying his homies was smashing that. Oh, okay. She over here saying that she's a, you know, Christian and she's an innocent woman and she's pure and she's a virgin and she's married. Like, you're a virgin and you married? Come on now. Like, what religion are you with? So you need to just be around these type women so you can figure out, okay, what type of place you're trying to run. You know, coming across a woman who has no game. I mean, how you going to know what level of game to use on a woman, right? Like if you come across a woman who really is pure, like she's really a good girl, and you running your bad boy game, she's probably going to fall for it. She'll probably fall for the 3-day rule because she's into you. This could be the one that, you know, man, let's put her over here as a potential keeper and let's start the clock on the 2-year vetting process, right? But you got to know what to look for. You don't want to put the freaky girl or the Sadia Khan type chick in that lane, right? Why waste your time? Like, you already know it ain't about nothing, but you got a woman like, oh man, she might be pretty good. You run her through your rotation of buddies. Hey man, y'all know her? Nope, nobody knows her. You taking her places, nobody recognizes her. She doesn't recognize anybody. You finally meet her parents, like, oh yeah, she really doesn't go out. Like, she's, you know, she's studying to be an engineer. Like, she really was out. That was the first time she ever went out with her friends. Oh, okay. Now you can begin that process like, yo, I might have one. But if you just in that smash mode, you have nothing, you know, you just one gear, you're going to wind up running through her. Not knowing that she had a good one. You're going to wind up running right through her. You know what I mean? So this is why you need some experience, because you need to be able to recognize certain things. Right? You just got to be able to recognize it. I can remember the first time I came across a woman, I smashed a woman who was married. She didn't say anything for weeks. We smashing, we doing our thing. Like, you know, I'm coming over. We called it creeping back in the day when we was younger. We called it creeping. I'm running over. I'm creeping over there. You know what I'm saying? Booty call hours. Either she booty calling me or I'm booty calling her. It was all good. Like, what's up? And we didn't have text. Remember that back in the day, we didn't have text. We had to use the phone. We had signals. Sometimes we had pagers and we had the phone. So a lot of times, you know, you would call, let the phone ring twice, hang up, and then she would page you when the coast was clear, sort of thing. But I thought it was because of her family, like mom and dad, making sure mom and dad. Nuh-uh. She had a husband. So here I am in the mix with this woman. And then weeks in, come to find out she got a husband. Right? And I was like talking to one of my people. They was like, oh, you messing with Shorty? Like, you know, she married to so-and-so. I'm like, what? Nah, who's dude? You know, dude moved down from Cleveland. Blah, 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 blah. He run with so-and-so and so-and-so. His people over there on the west side. What? Yeah, man. She married the dude. I didn't know that. So I asked her, like, yo, you got a husband? She was like, yeah, I got a husband. She was like, what? Why do you say something? She's like, what difference does it make? Like, man, somebody might try to shoot me over this. What you mean, what difference does it make? Let me choose if I don't want to risk my life on this Foxy Brown or not. Let me choose. But, yeah, man. You need that experience. So 50, I don't know about 50. But anyway, that's a long monologue. Let's get into the video. This is Stay Slick with Kit. The title of this video is Every Woman is a HOE, even mom. Right? So you know they're over there. So he's saying every woman is a 304, even your mother. Wow. So let's check this out.
Oh, yeah. I made a post about this recently, actually, as well.
Yeah, go for it.
It was this idea of if you were to speak to a woman about what she looks for in a man,
Mm.
chances are she describes what is a nice guy on paper. 9 times out of 10, the guy she's sleeping with doesn't fit the bill.
Yeah.
So I guess the question is, why do you think women say they want these good men, yet get turned on by men who aren't that, and yet don't treat these good men as good as they say they want them?
Great.
Dual mating strategy, right? Dual mating strategy. That's Rollo Tomasi 101. What is that? Alpha fucks, beta bucks. That's what that is. 101. All women would say that, bro. They will say, I want the guy who is this, and this, the good boy. They will describe whatever. But they will never really date that guy for sure. That's the guy that has to put in years. I talk about the 3-day rule. And these women, I've seen dudes, man, on the 5-6 year rule. Like the women got them on a 6-year rule. 6 years to get the Foxy Brown? Are you crazy? 6 years. Dude's all involved in her life, helping her raise her children. So he's trying to be a stepdad situation, everything else. 6 years before he get the hit. You must be out of your mind. But here's the thing, good for her. That's great if you can get it. She's getting everything she needs, and he's getting nothing that he wants. 6 years. So yeah, women say that all the time. I want this guy. They describe some, you know what I mean, some beta dude, but who do they go mess with? Who are they, you know what I mean, in the car bouncing up and down on? Right? Who are they creeping over to see at 3 a.m? Right? It ain't that beta looking dude.
Question.
Why do you think that is?
So I think there's two things at play here. I
Yeah.
think the first thing is because social currency,
Okay.
in terms of looking good to the social class, is more important for women than it is for men. That's a big reason why they say, I just want a nice guy, or I want this kind of guy.
That's a great point. What woman is gonna come right up and say, "Hey, I'm a freak. I'm a freakazoid. You know what I'm saying? I'm a 304. I bang anybody. I bang. I just got finished banging a dude. You know what I'm saying? I just sucked off the valet guy because I ain't have $5 to valet the car, so I just gave him some dome. What woman is gonna come and just raise her hand and say that's what I just did? That's me. That's me. You get no social points for that. You're gonna get looked down on, frowned upon. You know what I mean? You're gonna get shamed or whatever. They know it. Even in the area where there ain't supposed to be no shame, they know they gonna get shamed, right? So women ain't gonna tell you the truth, bro. But their body never lie, and who they smash tells the story. And this is what I mean. Not all women are freaks like that. Not all women are 304s. But when they see the right guy, they gonna let him get it all.
I'm not saying they're not being truthful, but for example, okay, how men would bully each other, how boys bully each other is physical aggression. How women typically bully each other is through reputation destruction.
Yeah.
Right? So it's through her social standing, how she's perceived socially. So if a woman comes out, and to be fair, a lot of women do come out and say it now, but if a woman comes out and says, yeah, I want a guy who, you know, is strong, who's going to be dominant, who's etc., that looks bad on the women demographic, because they're like, whoa, it sounds like you're wanting a guy to come and dominate you. And that doesn't look good for the ladies, right? Because we want to have this perception. But I also think, and I think many women don't maybe know that they're not translating this, is that what turns women on isn't about if he's nice, it's about his competency. So the example I'll give is like, if you have a house, you're going to get a guard dog. You don't want to get the dog that's just nice to everybody, because when the burglar comes in, he's going to be like, hey, let me show you where everything is. Right? That's useless to you. At the same time, you don't want to get the dog that's just going to attack everyone, because you want them to be loving to you and your family and your friends. But when the burglar comes, you want them to be able to take it out.
Yeah.
So you want the dog who's capable of being dangerous, but chooses to be good with you.
Yeah.
Weakness is not a virtue.
Yeah.
Not fighting because you can't fight is not a virtue.
For sure.
So I think a lot of the time when ladies say, I just want a nice guy, guys think, oh, I just need to show that I'm not dangerous.
Right.
I just need to show that I'm nice, as opposed to the competency. I think what women say is that they want a guy that they find who is competent, they're attracted to, be good to her.
Yeah.
Do you see?
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yo, kid right here, bro, man. Look, this dude right here. I'm trying to get over to UK. Next time I'm in London, I'm definitely gonna look this brother up. Cause he be spitting game. He be spitting game. And this reminds me of a movie I saw. It might have been on Oh man, it was one of those Twilight Zone type movies, Outer Limits type things or whatever, Fright Night or what I mean, one of those type movies. Um, where the story was, it was called The Shadow Man. So this kid was being bullied at school, was being bullied, and is always being bullied. He comes home one night and it's dark, it's night. He hears something under his bed. He looks over his bed and he sees this shadow figure thing coming from under the bed, and it transforms as a dark person. This is a shadow, it's just all black. And it's a shadow man. And the kid's scared to death. He don't know what to do. And the shadow man tells the kid, I'm the shadow man who lives under your bed. I will never harm you. But the shadow man goes out into the streets and he deletes people. Shadow man just go out there and delete folks and then come back and get up under dude's bed. Right? So the kid was like, wow, they see the shadow man get up, every other night or so. Shadow man comes out, goes, does his business and comes back, gets under the bed. So this kid was like, huh, you know what I mean? I can handle this problem with my bullies. So he sets up the bully to meet him one night, out in the streets or whatever. And then the kid sees the shadow man, and the bully was like, come on, let's get out of here, run. And the kid's like, man, I ain't running like shadow man. How come you ain't do your thing? Why don't you take care of dude? Then the shadow man grabbed him, starts to choke the life out of him. He was deleting him. And the boy was like, what are you doing? You said you would never hurt me. The shadow man said, I'm a shadow man from another bed. So it wasn't his shadow man. The point being, that's what women want, man. Women want that dude, like what Kit's saying, they want that dude that has the potential to be the shadow man from somebody else's bed. They want the shadow man, but they want the shadow man from under their bed. It's going to not hurt them. It's going to be there for them and take care of them. They want that, right? So how do they get it? I don't know, it's what it is. You know what I mean? They get it by going out and meeting men. They kind of get it by what Brother Donnie is saying right here, right? And this is facts, man. Dudes need to understand this, man. Women do make rules for the guys that they don't like. That's who the rules apply for. Those are the guys that have to jump through hoops. They got to do all this stuff and whatever. But when the woman really likes the dude, there are no rules, right? If you don't learn nothing from the red pills, Mano Swamp, learn that. Learn that. So Brother Donnie goes on and says, like, I do believe that every woman can be a 304. See, emphasis on can. You know what I mean? We got Brother Man Jill in the building. What's happening? And he definitely was spot on with that. Kid knows what he's talking about, bro. Women are looking for what they're looking for, and we know that their list is way longer than our list. So, I mean, it is what it is, fellas. You want to become the shadow man. You want to become the bad boy. You want to at least have these traits displayed so you can at least get women paying attention to you, and then you can choose what woman you want by running your vetting process and doing what you got to do. And at the same time, you got to understand that you got to get your swings in, bro. You got to get out here, do what you got to do. Again, you don't have to, in my opinion, you don't have to smash 50 women. If that's what you want to do, fine. You don't need 50 to figure this out. You know what I mean? But you do need to get, intimate with some women. There's going to be a number out there for you. Once you reach that number, you get that level of proficiency. Now you're good and you can continue on. Just don't forget your lessons. Let's continue.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's that classic phrase, women want bad boys to be good for them, and guys want good girls to be naughty for them.
For sure.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that's why I think there's a level of social pressure for women to always say what sounds good,
Of course.
because it makes her be socially perceived in a positive light, whether it's true or not, as well as when they say they want a nice guy, what they mean is they want the guy that they're fundamentally attracted to be good to them, but they miss out that fundamental attraction part.
Yeah.
And what fundamentally makes a woman attracted to you as a man is not how nice you are. It's more about your competency and your capability. That's the initial attraction.
Of course.
And then, of course, whether she feels safe with you is how you make her feel, which comes into the kindness, the consideration.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I mean, I get where kids coming from with that, but they always say that we fall in love with our eyes and women fall in love with their ears and and stuff like that. But if you are an extremely attractive dude, if you hit the lottery, the gene pool lottery, yo, bro, she'll look at you and want to smash. I've seen that. I've seen women look at dudes and would tell me like, yo, I'm gonna have sex with him tonight. Like, it's because I've always been cool with women. I always keep women around me. It used to be women like, okay, They're like, yeah, because they just like, he's so high, blah, blah, blah. So there are women, especially young women, who will do that. But these guys were like model level attractive. You know what I mean? Like the dudes were ripped. You could tell, like handsome dudes with the jawline and all that stuff that Wheat Waffles talks about. Yeah, I've seen women like, yo, they just want to smash. And if they could keep that guy, they would, but they know going in like, I already know he got a bunch of dudes. Like the A-listers, the rock and rollers, you know what I mean? The hood rich dudes, the D-boys, they get that. Women like, yeah. But I see where I get Kit's point, right? If they're going into, like, remove that equation, if it's just, you just a regular dude and, you know, she's going to want the things that he was talking about. That's going to, you know what I mean? If she sees you, this is what she's looking for. Okay, he's a rough guy, but he's still safe. He keeps, you know, around. He keeps me safe. He's funny. And, you know what I mean? Yeah, he can provide things. And I get what he's saying. And I agree with it. So let's continue.
It does, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I kind of think, you know what? I actually thought it was, I saw a discussion about the dual mating strategy and how perhaps maybe that's playing into that as well. That the idea that the subconscious sort of imperative for women in their hunt for a man is sort of split into two categories of good genetics and parental investment.
Yes.
And obviously good genetics being that makes you attractive on paper, physical, tall, dark, handsome, charismatic, all these signs of good, robust genes, aka you get her rocks off.
Yes.
And then you got parental investment on things like, you know, good job, can make a lot of money, ambitious, sweet, gentle. He comes off like he won't leave you alone if you got pregnant.
Yes.
And in a perfect world, women will get both of these two things in one guy.
In one man.
And it's so rare.
Yeah.
Right. So oftentimes what we see is in the early 20s or peak fertility years, they're sleeping with Mr. Good Genes.
Yes.
Because they don't require investment from him. So they're just collecting the DNA for free.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Very true.
And now that we have modern contraception, nobody needs to get pregnant. So they can just take all the DNA possible.
Yes.
And then as they start to get towards the need for investment and settling down, they start to prioritize this guy. And they reduce their need for sexiness and all that stuff, and they start raising their need for this more.
Yes.
So I kind of believe that what we're seeing is men who fit this category more than this one tend to have to be nice to women.
Yes.
Because they don't come with raw sex appeal.
Yeah, very true.
And raw sex appeal men don't need to be overly investing because they're sexy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think because of that, the way in which each side manifests their dating strategy is representative of their market value.
Very,
and
very,
which
I mean, bro, the pudgy dude has to be nice and listen to her stories and don't forget to bring flowers and take her to the places she wants to go and all that. Whereas the hot dude just come over, drop his pants and be like, get busy, girl. You know what it is. And she'll get busy. That's what they're talking about, which is true. And this is something I was talking to Brother Dino Dinosaur, man. We were going back and forth in the comments. He was commenting on one of the shows we recently did. And we were talking about that. We were talking about Saudi Khan, and he was like, well, don't American men and boys have American women like moms and aunts and sisters or whatever to talk to about these issues? It's like, yeah, but they don't tell you this. Like, say what you want about Fresh and Fit, but, you know, when, again, like I said, when Myron and Fresh are talking about the sexual marketplace and they're talking about what's going on in female, you know, dating strategy versus male dating strategy, man, they're spot on. When they're on the other stuff, bro, like when they're talking about politics or they started talking about race or they're doing that kind of thing, man, they on a different planet. Like, I don't listen to that. But when it comes to the dating market, they're spot on. Women are not going to tell the ugly truth about this. They're just not going to do it. It makes all women look too bad. Now, you might have some women like your mom or your aunt or your sister who might give you some game and tell you to stay away from a particular woman, but they're not going to sit there and say all women got that trait. You need to be careful, be leery of all women. Me, mom, grandma, you know what I mean? All your aunts, everybody. I just don't see them saying that. They might, but, you know, very few women have said that in my presence. Brother Mandrill is saying what women don't understand is that a bad boy is a bad boy. He's going to be bad to everyone. He's not going to be good to hear and bad to, good to her and bad to everyone else. He might, fam. You might have a bad boy who meets the woman that he wants. I've seen bad boys get their face cracked. I've seen bad boys go and they see the woman they want and they modify their game and they get her only to get their face cracked, only to get their heart broken. I've seen it. One of my homies, he's a beast, Mandrell. I mean, I'm saying, when I say he's a beast, I ain't met too many dudes like him, like the stuff that he can get women to do. And it's not that he's getting women to do it. They want to do it. The things that he brings out in women and the stuff that goes on. I know why. I know what happened at Ground Zero. I know what happened at Ground Zero. And then it's like, and we talked about it. I'm like, hey, bro, is this partly why, you know what I'm saying, you all in now? And it's like, bro, he respects women as humans, but the things he have them doing, bro, it blows my mind, and they love it. And I'm like, is that why you all in like this? He was like, yeah. Yeah. He's like, yeah, I'll never make that mistake again. So it can happen, bro. But your point is valid. I get your point. You know what I mean? I get your point. You know what I mean? And women they like to believe they could change a man. And I hear you, but I'm telling you, there are bad boys out there who are like super player with it. And even them, I mean, this is something I'm going to ask Dose next time I send a message over to Dose a game. I comment on one of his things. I'm going to ask him, bro. I'm going to ask him like real talk, man. You ever get, you know what I'm saying? You ever get caught up with a chick, make your feelings hurt or whatever? I'm curious to hear his response, man. And like I say, dude seems, he seems real cool. He's a real one. I'm pretty sure he'll give me he'll tell the truth. You know what I mean? He'll tell the truth. There's some dudes out there that just never let themselves be vulnerable and never let themselves get hurt. But I ain't never met none of them. I don't have a personal relationship with any of them dudes. Every dude I know that went through some bullshit at some point, even if they were just little kids, like the puppy love or whatever, or some drama happened in middle school or high school or college. Just every dude I know done went through something. But, I mean, I got to acknowledge the fact that it is possible. There's some dudes out there that ain't never got their face cracked. It is possible, but I just ain't never met one. I know I had my face cracked multiple times. You know what I mean? Brother Donnie went on to say that a woman's words are based on validation of others. True. The reason why you watch their actions and character, this is definitely why you want to keep your eye on that. Yeah, I mean, that's. And then Mandrell was saying, when a bad boy gets his heart broken, he typically goes rabbit on women. Yeah. Yeah, he does, bro. Foaming at the mouth and everything. And like I say, man, like I said, I've done that. And every time, the handful of times I've been hurt, what did I do? I would go out and just do some wild shit. Just do some wild shit, bro. And that's where the stories come from. And it's like you're trying to recover, really. And it's just, that's how I did it. And then people look back and like, well, man, don't you regret it? Like, no, not really. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta take the bitter with the sweet, bro. You gotta learn. This is what I'm talking about. This is what you learn when you go out here and you're, getting your experience. No matter how many times we tell you, man, Mandrell could tell you, Donnie could tell you, I could tell you, Myron and Fresh could tell you, Rolo Tomas could tell you, protect your emotions, vet these girls, blah, 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 blah. You still gonna meet one that just for whatever reason, that's the one for you. It won't even because she's the most sexy or the most beautiful or the smartest. It just be something about that woman that's clicking with you. And you're gonna try to run it like, man, that's when you hear that, oh, she's a good girl shit. You hear that, bro. It's like, oh, he's about to get his face cracked. And sure enough, I say 7.5 times out of 10, get his face cracked. Comes back like, damn. Tried to tell you, homie. But sometimes you gotta touch the stove, bro. You gotta really understand what hot is. We telling you that don't touch the stove, it's hot. You gotta go ahead and put your hand on there and get burnt one time. You gotta go ahead, like with my daughter. I know she's gonna go out here and make some mistakes, man. She has to get out here and bump her head. That's the only way you're gonna learn as a kid. Get out here and bump your head. Go on out there. And as a parent, it's my job to be there when she bumps her head, right? To help her pick up the pieces. That's my job as dad. I told you. You went out there. You did it anyway. You bumped your head. It's all good. I still love you. I'm always love you. It's cool. Now, let's go find a boy and break his knees.
They stride more.
Yeah.
So I kind of think, in my opinion, the ideal place for a man is to be both.
Yeah, yes.
Be the guy who she wants to rip your clothes off on a one-night stand.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she wants to keep you.
Facts.
If you're that rare bird, then you're winning.
Yes.
But in my opinion, if you had to be one or the other, be this guy.
I was literally about to ask you if guys had to choose to be one or the other, which would you say? 100%. There's a phrase, and I'm reluctant to use this phrase because it comes from the quote red pill space, but I think it does very much epitomize everything we're saying.
Yeah.
They call it alpha fucks, beta bucks.
Rolo.
For sure.
The alpha fucks, the beta pays.
Yeah.
I.e. the bucks. He provides, stability in that sense.
Yeah.
It's interesting. What do you think for men? What do you think is the dual mating strategy? Right? Because I have an idea, but what would you classify as in, so we are understood for the women, like getting good genes, man who's going to provide stability and not leave me.
For sure.
What's the duality for men?
I think it's similar to what women go through, except we don't talk about ours enough in the real world. On one hand, and I don't mean to be crude because I'm a bit of a potty mouth when I'm passionate. So I don't know if swearing is off the cards.
You can swear.
I've already gone.
Only adult.
We are watching Black British dudes, bro. Black British dudes. Don DeMarco to that. It's like, I'm a bit of a potty mouth when I'm passionate. Bro, that's the thing about the accent, guys. One thing I learned about trying to have an accent is not trying to mimic the sounds. It's just using those words. If you use the words, that's the same effect. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm prim and proper and pip and cheerio. Like, nah, man, just use the words. I'm a bit of a potty mouth when I get, I'm a bit of a potty mouth when I get passionate, love. You know what I mean? Like, who are you? Where are you from? But anyway, you heard what he said, bro. We say it over here, and every platform is going to tell you the same thing, man. What you need to do, you need to be a bad boy or have bad boy traits. And again, this is what you're going to learn when you're out here getting your experience, you know what I'm saying, smashing some chicks. Every woman that I've had success with, like real success, I had success when I was on that bad boy shit. And every time I came through being the good guy, doing what women tell you to do, listening, being compassionate, attending to her needs, all that stuff, bro. Going to yoga. Nah, I got shit on every single time. And don't take my word for it, fellas. When you're out here doing your thing, this is part of getting your experience. Try some shit. Go out there, talk to a woman, and be nice, right? Do all of the blue pill stuff to one woman and see how she acts. And then while at the same time, you're hollering at another chick. I mean, when I say same time, I mean they're in your rotation. You're splitting time with these women. But the other woman, be a dog. Be a dog, like whatever. And watch how it goes. The girl that you displaying the bad boy traits to, that woman, she gonna smash you right away. She gonna be trying to cook for you. She's gonna be always running around, hoping to keep you around because she know you out doing your thing. She's trying to keep you away from the other women. The woman you being the good girl with, the good boy with, to that girl you being the good guy, she don't care about you. She ain't gonna be answering your calls. She's gonna be leaving you on red. Right? She's not going to really respect your time. She's going to stand you up all the time and all that kind of stuff, bro. Trust me. Go out there and do it. See it for yourself. Keep a log and come back and tell us. You know what I mean? And I'm practicing now. I know if I want to point at the screen that you guys are looking at, if I'm trying to point to the box, I got to point this direction because I have different screens here that I'm looking at. And a lot of times I want to point to the box. So I'm pointing this way on my main screen, on my StreamYard. I'm pointing away from the display. But when I look at what you guys are looking at, I'm going to point directly to the box. So this is just a little inside sauce on what it's like to be sitting in front of the camera as opposed to behind the camera, trying to figure this all out. We got Brother Michael Lee in the building. What's good, fam? Hey, bro. Brother Michael, I know you saw this. And if you haven't seen this, man, go check it out. What's the name of the half black, half Japanese female tennis phenom? Well, anyway, there's like, I think it was a short. She took her hair hat off while on the court. I mean, she has really nice hair, but she had it all braided up and all that, but she took her hair hat off. They had all the braids going up or whatever. Bro, I know you saw this. I know when I saw it, I'm like, man, Michael is looking at this right now, bro. Like, Brother Michael Lee is looking at this. I forget her name, bro. I think she recently had a kid. She had a breakdown, like she had a nervous breakdown or whatever from the pro pressure and all that, but she's back on the court. But yeah, man, look that shit up, bro. It's hilarious. Let's get back to it.
Here are watching this episode, this podcast. Go for it.
I kind of think on one hand, we want the love, the care, the commitment, the prayer of Church Mouse Mary. But at the same time, we want the booty from bad bitch Megan.
Very,
You know what I
very,
mean?
very
I kind of
true.
think that is the dual. It's the same thing for men,
Yes.
because it's like what you've said about women want good men, want bad boys to be good to them,
Yes.
and men want good girls to be naughty for them.
Yes.
There's a reason why a lot of these women in the world are seeing men say the kind of girl we want to keep is a good girl who does ABC, da, 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 da. But they're also watching you thirst trapping over her, liking her Instagram photograph. You're all here chasing Meg Thee Stallions, twerking and all this shit.
Yes.
So it's like, well, which one do you want?
Yeah.
And the women are going, you seem to be showing this girl a lot of attention. So maybe I need to put my booty online because that's who's getting the attention.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we're like, yeah, she gets attention, but we don't want to marry her though. We want to marry this girl.
Yeah.
And I kind of think men want both too.
Yes.
We just don't talk about it in the real world in a way that makes men have to confront the fact that we also have a duality that we don't talk about anywhere near. Because we, at the end of the day, and this is the reason why I have a very interesting relationship with the whole body count discourse. Because I kind of think men need to dig into it a little bit more and make sense of why they believe what they believe and why perhaps it's time to adopt something new. Because let's not kid ourselves. You do want the bad bitch Megan, but you also want the good girl, which is the reason why we kind of need to break the whole Madonna whore complex. Because just because she's a bad bitch doesn't mean she's not a good girl.
True.
Oh man, they're bringing up some good stuff. And yes, man, it's Naomi Osaka. That was her, bro. She took off the hair hat. If y'all type in her name and hair hat or something like that, or weave, I bet you it comes up, man. I saw it today. I think I saw it on a short. I was like, whoa. But what he just said, talking about breaking the cycle, I don't think that's gonna happen at a societal level. What he says makes complete sense, but I don't think it's gonna happen at a societal level. I think at individual levels it happens. That's something like if I'm out messing with a girl, if I'm out messing with a woman, it's okay. So long as she's never been a professional sex worker, and I'm talking like adult film, I'm talking, exotic dancer, I'm talking OF, and I'm talking streetwalker. Like, so long as she's never like been a call girl or something like that, she ain't did that. And even of the 5 things that I just named right there, the dancer, I may allow depending on how long she danced. So if I come across a girl's like, yo, I'm hollering at her, whatever, and she's like, look, there was a time when I was like 18 for like 6 months. I danced at this club in some random place somewhere in Newport, Kentucky or something like that, or Grayling, Michigan, or Oklahoma. I was in Oklahoma City dancing at some club. I tried it for 6 months. I didn't like it. I never did it again. I just want you to know that. Bro, I'm going to continue vetting her. Now, I'm going to do some digging, right? I might even go to the club that she said she worked at way back when and just like maybe drop her name or talk to some people who've been around, talk to the owner. Because if I'm talking about being with this woman for the rest of my life, I want to make sure, she's telling me everything. Like if she tells me like, yeah, I did it for 6 months, I didn't like it, I stepped away from it. Cool. But if a woman's like, yeah, I was big on OF, I'm not dealing with her. Like, hey, there was a time for 6 weeks I was on the track. Nah, I ain't messing with you. You was out there on the track, nah, I ain't messing with you. Adult film, I ain't messing with you. Y'all tell me, because this OF thing is fairly new. Like I know I will give a pass possibly to a girl who danced for a few weeks or a few months, depending on what club she was at. And maybe I would consider a pass. OF, I would consider a pass if she shows me all the content she did and nothing was like uploaded to the internet. You know what I mean? There's if so long as whatever you're doing ain't in the cloud, like you weren't banging yourself with a cucumber and it's like in the cloud somewhere, show me what you were doing. Maybe. I mean, the OF thing is still new, but maybe, because most women don't make any money off of OF. They're just sending they're just sending nudes basically, which is to me akin to maybe sexting somebody, right? So what's y'all thought on that, bro? Me, I'll give a pass to a woman who's a stripper for a few months in some podunk town somewhere, some out of the way strip club. I will definitely do that. I will still check it out. I will run it down, but I'll give her a pass. What would you give a pass for, guys? I'm curious. Let me know what would you give a pass for? He say, see, and Brother Michael's like, I ain't taking no dancer serious. Real talk. Here's the thing, like, I'm gonna run it down. If she tells me the truth, and this is what I've learned over my decades on the planet, my 5 decades plus on the planet. If she's telling you, she didn't really do nothing crazy. She ain't worried about what you will find if she tells you. Right now, here's the thing. Is she telling you everything? Blah, blah, blah. What kind of game is she playing? There's a lot of women got good game too, but I hear you. And I used to be, especially when I was in my 20s and 30s, bro, you a dancer? Rec use only. But you got to understand, most of the women I was dealing with, it was rec use only anyway. So I didn't care. I don't care if you was a dancer. I don't care if you was in the church choir. I'm smashing you within 3 days. Everybody gets the 3-day rule. And if you ain't giving it up, I'm moving on. Bye. I ain't mad. I'll holler at you. And if she tries to circle back, she know what it is. You know what it's going to take. But Brother Michael says no. If she's been a dancer, it's a wrap. 100% zero, he ain't doing it. If she spent enough time at the JUCO coach, Greg Adams, might have already hit and split. So it was like Mr. Pitt, like, you ain't having this. So Brother Pitney, you ain't messing with a girl who's been out there dancing. Is what I'm taking from that. She's like, I am taking no nurse, definitely no sex workers, seriously, all of them straight recreational use department. So yeah, they say a lot about nurses, bro. Hear that about nurses, but teachers are wild. You know what I mean? Any woman working Fortune 500 CE, like corporate work, they get wild. I mean, bro, this is what we're talking about. We're not saying every woman is a 304, but every woman has the capability of doing some 304 shit. This is what we're talking about right here. So you get to, no nurses, okay, right? I get the no strippers, no sex workers, especially girls working on the streets, no call girls, no OF girls, adult film, no, okay, but, nurses, teachers, I'm here to tell you, air traffic controllers, dealing with a woman who's an air traffic controller, they get wild, boy. They get wild. Law enforcement, females in law enforcement, they get wild. Pilots, female pilots, they get wild. Any woman who's in a, an alpha type role, they gonna get wild. Lawyers, oh my God, they get wild. Politicians, they get wild. They get wild. So, you start to see how it just, and this is to old boy's point, right? To old boy's point right here. He's saying guys are going to have to start making some changes, societal changes, the whole Madonna thing. And it's like, man, it's so blended in with these women. I mean, it's really hard to find a woman who is going to be able to live up to the Madonna side of that equation. Real easy to find women who out there doing the 304 stuff, right? Real easy. Brother Penny's like, if you really want to deal with the dancer, it needs to be in a short-term basis. Okay, I get you. Keep it under a few weeks so you don't develop a reputation as a simp. I hear you. I'm here to tell you, bro, it used to be that dancers, waitresses, and bartenders were the hardest women to smash. They were the hardest numbers to get, real numbers. But this shows you how much the game has changed. And I ain't gonna lie to you, bro, like, because I had this conversation with one of my homeboys about a year ago. I was like, bro, like, of all the stuff I consider, like I said, the only one I would even give a pass to continue the vetting process would be the one who's like, yeah, I danced at a spot for 6 months or something like that. That's the only one I would even consider giving a pass to. And the reason is really hard to prove it. Like, and think about it. I'm way older. Back then, there was no video evidence. There were no photos, right? There was no cloud. It was easy to bury that, right? But I hear you. It's like a lot of guys, there are guys out here like, man, I'm so alpha. It doesn't matter what she did before me. She's with me now, so she's going to be blah, 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 blah. And I was like, all right, because we were having a question, we were going back and forth. I'm like, all right, so you're saying if she was a dancer and, she was dancing for 5 years, you don't care about that. And then we went back and forth. And then, we wound up with that 6 months. It was like, it can be no more than 6 months. And I was like, all right, maybe. So that's where that came from, guys, just so you know. But here's the thing, all bullshit aside. You want to have so many choices that if you come across something like that, you can go ahead and just like Brother Michael said, make use it for rec use. Just have fun with it. But like I said, be careful with your emotions because you mess around, fall in love with her, and it's a wrap. Don't matter. You won't even care anymore. You know what I mean? But that's my take on it. I'm like, I'll give you a pass 6 months or less. But nowadays, the new dancers, everything's online. Everything's on social media. It's them twerking with a G-string on. It's them, you know, with pictures. It's harder to do. Because here you are somewhere with her in your arm and she's looking all elegant and, you know, refined, and you're somewhere and then some dude is like, yo, I took her to the VIP for $3,000, bro, just so you know. What are you going to do with that? You're embarrassed. It's a wrap. Like, what are you going to do with that? Like, no one's going to take you serious. That's to Brother Pitney's point, right? Because now you're looking like a simp, right? What are you going to do with that? So there it is. You know what I mean? Brother like Saint, he's like, I'm not taking women with a hair serious at all as well. Okay, she probably meant hair hat. It's like, I ain't taking a woman with the hair hat and all that stuff serious at all. So yeah, I hear you. Right? So this is, you want to work your way up to a position where you can make these choices. Because there's a lot of dudes, bro, I'm here to tell you, we see it all the time, man. The bottom 80 dudes will take, you know, one of these girls in a heartbeat, OF girl, you know, adult film star, a girl from the track. You see it all the time and be in love with her, bro. Deal with all of it. You don't want to be that guy. Remember what I said about the apple not being low-hanging fruit, but done fell off the tree, rolled down the hill and all that? That's what I'm talking about. You don't want to take that, but you want to put yourself in a position where you can choose. But yeah, I just wanted to keep it 100, man. Like, that's what we do over here. Like this, it's like, what's your cutoff? You know, but yeah, me and Jay Swans had that conversation. And it was funny at the end of the conversation, like, bro, because we've known each other since we were kids. And I'm like, bro, your wife, amazing. You did it. You won the game. You got the perfect woman. You know what I mean? All things being equal, like, there's no better than Naya. Right? So I'm like, yo, that's what's up. And I was like, because I had to remind him, like, bro, you would never take a woman like that serious. And he was like, well, yeah, you're right. But here we are, you know, 2 hours into a discussion, a debate. We debated that point for 2 hours. You know what I mean? Brother Mike was like, yo, Saint, you see the Fresh and Fit episode a few years back when it was a Jamaican Canadian? She was a virgin. Do you remember that episode? We talked about that here before. I think we saw a picture of her. Yeah, I want to say yeah. That's when I was watching all the episodes pretty much. That was early on. There was a lot of value in those discussions back then. That's when, you know, when Nina and the Pineapple. Hey, you guys know Nina's engaged some dude, right? If you guys keep up with Nina and the Pineapple on her Instagram, she ain't shaking that pineapple no more. She's like cooking and her whole wardrobe has changed. And, you know what I mean? She's not selling those bikinis anymore, I don't think. Like, she's starting to change her ways. And that's, you know, someone like Nina's like, yo, baby, you got some OF stuff out there. Like, I'm like, what is out there? But she's got a dude, you know what I mean? It's like, so, you know what I mean? It's kind of crazy how that works. You know, I tell women all the time, like, if you fine enough, you fit enough, some dude's going to take you. You know, it could be a guy with some money and some status. You know what I mean? He's going to take you. But this dude, her fiance, never puts his face in any of her pictures or lives or anything like that. Yeah, check out Nina the Pineapple's Instagram, guys, if you guys get a chance. Yeah, they thought it was easy to bury Freaknik. Man, Freaknik was crazy. I was at Freaknik. The last really good Freaknik. Like, Pac was down there, bro. MC Breed was down there. We saw Prime Time was down there. Like, Deion Sanders, when he was doing this thing, I think he was playing in Atlanta at the time. Bro, was crazy. The movie, the video Tootsie Roll, y'all remember that video, that song Tootsie Roll? They were shooting that video during that Freaknik. Man, that was some of the craziest stuff. I've been, you know, Aggie Fest and all that's been one thing, but that Freaknik that year was crazy, bro. Me and my cousin, we took my brother down there. At the time, my brother was in middle school. We got my brother down in Atlanta doing Freaknik, man. I got some crazy stories behind that. We had a good old time. That the West Coast was there, man. Like, them gangbangers drove from LA all the way to Freaknik. They was doing their thing. I got some stories about Freaknik, y'all. I'm gonna hold on to that. But Freaknik was something special, fellas. I mean, you guys probably too young to remember, but for those of us who remember, who were there, Freaknik was something special. Something special. And Brother Mike was talking about the Canadian Jamaican. She was natural. She had a rear hair, no BBLs, no makeup. And she wasn't dressed ratchet. She had a red dress on. Man, I want to say, yeah. I remember that. And here's the thing. Man, you'll see a woman like that, natural, all her hair, all that, no BBLs, no nothing, no upgrades, no fake breasts, no nothing, and, fit, saying the right things. Bro, go back to her hood. Somebody might have a story about her. Like I said, every woman got a little 304 in them. Every woman got a little 304 in them for the right dude. I'm here to tell you, bro. We have to go back through the archives and find that one so I can see exactly who she is. Yeah, Nina's dude must have a spine and steel, bro. Nina's a fine woman, bro. She is a fine woman, but I feel you on that. Like I would keep Nina around, but like marriage, I don't know. Here's the thing. I think they're just engaged. So it could be a play. He could be just running his game, bro. It could be a play. I've seen dudes do that, man. Give a woman a ring. That'll get her to stop doing the ratchet stuff or whatever, doing the crazy stuff. She's like happy. She's got an engagement ring. Got her in the crib. She's cooking. She's cleaning. She's doing all this stuff. Meanwhile, the woman doesn't realize she's number 3 in the rotation. Number 1 finally is ready, and he's like, boom, I'm about to go marry number 1. Break off the engagement. You can keep the ring because he got money like that. You can keep the ring. You know what I'm saying? The rent's paid up for, 6 months. I'm about to go marry this woman over here. I've seen that, bro. I've seen that, and that devastates women, bro. That devastates women. But yeah, man, my bad. We got off on a tangent here. Let's go back. Remember, he was talking about the whore Madonna complex and how society needs to change and be a little more accepting. Let's continue.
And just because she's a good girl don't mean she's not a bad bitch.
Very true.
Most women are actually both.
Facts.
I said this to my mom. There was a discussion happening in my family with all the women, and they were discussing the whole hoe versus good girl. Is she a hoe or is she a good girl? And as they were talking more about it and what's what, I walked in there and my mom called me and she goes, "What do you think of this?" So, what do you think of what? They told me the whole story and I said, "Oh, every girl's a hoe." And she goes, you say what? And I said, "Every girl's a hoe, even you, ma."
Whoa,
Boy, goddamn.
With all due respect.
With all due respect,
Please don't whip my ass. I know we're Africans, but
you know what I mean?
I said, even you. And then I said, forgive me, I don't mean to be derogatory, but what I mean is every woman is a hoe. By that, what I mean is there is a wild sexual creature in every single one of y'all.
Facts.
And from my experience of thoroughly going out there and getting with enough women to the point where I could satiate the urge for myself, I've come to realize that the church mouse Mary, the CEO, the hoe, and the prostitute, and the Lily Collins, Lily Phillips, they're all the same.
Yep.
As in, when they feel safe and, more importantly, unjudged, they unleash parts of themselves that will leave men. If men knew how horny women are,
Facts.
good, we might start to give up the whole body count. My God.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I believe it's
true.
in all of them.
Yes.
And because of that, just because she is one doesn't mean she's not the other. I've had experiences with some of the best women to me who added levels of value to my life that has genuinely made me have to reassess my own beliefs, are women with ridiculous body counts.
Interesting.
Ridiculous body counts. Some of the women that I have found to be problematic ain't been with nobody. I don't think it is as much of a defining factor as we think.
I
know what I mean?
Bro. And Brother Michael, that's the, point to your Jamaican Canadian chick. She might just know how to present herself in public, man, but you have no idea what's in that closet. And that's the point he's trying to make. You have no idea. Understand that this brother is from the United Kingdom. He has roots, I think, in Nigeria and Africa. So his family, he's from that side of the world. He's saying some of the same things I've been saying, bro. You just don't know. You come up on a woman, again, we'll use Nina the Pineapple as an example. Why? Because she's so beautiful. She's so cool. Like, most of you probably never met her. I've been able to sit down with her on multiple occasions, and just talk to her. She's a cool woman, bro. Beautiful, petite, firecracker, bodied up, everything. No added nothing. She ain't got no breast job, no BBL. She don't need it. Beautiful, cool. But she got a wild side, and we know it. The thing is, with her wild side is documented, is well documented on social media and all that. You can see what's going on, people talking or whatever, doing whatever, because she was, the whole thing was Sneeko, right? That's the point he's making. there's no one or the other. It's like there's just a little bit, you know, in every woman. So that's the whole point he's making. But for him to say to his mama, your mama, you a 304? No way in hell I'd ever say that. I would get hit with a frying pan, maybe shot, if I said some shit like that to my mom. And she's sitting there with all her sisters, all my aunts. Boy, it's a wrap. I had to run to get up out that house, man. Wow.
I completely agree. So I agree in the sense of just because her body count is not a reflector of the value that she can add.
Yeah.
I think, and I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think what it is, it's more about, here's the thing, men and women, we look for security in each other, but just in different ways.
Yeah.
Women look for security in men, typically physical protection and provision.
Yeah.
Men look for security in terms of the children are going to be mine.
Yes.
And I think every man's worst fear is to invest and raise children that he later finds out aren't his.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think one thing I say to guys as well, and I agree, it's like you can't say you want a girl who's going to be crazy bad be in the bedroom, but then she's hardly got any experience.
Yeah.
Like we can have anything we want, but we can't have everything we want. We have to choose one.
Mm.
But I think it's not even necessarily about the number, it's what the number represents.
Yes.
And it's about her relationship to sex and her body.
Okay.
Because, for example, like, let me ask you, would you rather choose a woman who's maybe been with 9 different men, but they're all in significant relationships, or a woman who's been with 6 men, but 4 of them came from an orgy?
9.
100%.
For sure.
She has a higher body count,
Yeah.
but it's not of the number,
Yeah.
it's her relationship to sex.
Yeah.
Her
Fellas. Y'all heard the question. Which would you choose? Let me run that back again. Which would you choose?
significant relationships.
Yes.
And it's about her relationship to sex and her body.
Okay.
Because, for example, like, let me ask you, would you rather choose a woman who's maybe been with 9 different men, but they're all in significant relationships, or a woman who's been with 6 men, but 4 of them came from an orgy?
9.
100%.
Wow. I mean, oof. That's the question, which is, man, Don DeMarco, the kid, for even coming up with that. Now, how did he come up with that question, bro?
Dom DeMarco.
How did you come up with that question, kid? For real. That's an outstanding question. Which would you choose? A woman who's been with 9 men, she has a body count of 9, but it was 9 significant relationships. Like, she was with these guys in a monogamous relationship with these 9 dudes for a long time each, right? Or a woman who has a body count of 6, but 4 of those bodies came from an orgy. Ooh. Yeah, you would want the woman who was in the 9 relationships. But wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. I got a body count of 6, but 4 of those bodies came from an orgy. It was crazy. One night, it was a one-nighter. Or I was with my dude being submissive and he told me to do this and I enjoyed it. Or, my dude's name was Sean Combs. Wow. But I see they're talking about, and you know what's crazy? That's where we are right now, bro. That's where we are right now. Like, women are about it. They're about it, bro. They good with it. Like, all right, let's do this. All right. You know what I mean? You can, over the past, I'm going to say 5 years, I've encountered multiple women who were down for the 3-way, like, yo, I like girls too. I remember the last time I was in Colombia. It was with this woman who kind of worked as my translator, but we went out, we did whatever. But, she was my translator, and she's like, yeah, I like girls. I could put you on. I can help you find the ones that like that, and we can all come back. Like, so I was like, oh, okay. And, I mean, God, that was so long ago. She's probably in a committed relationship, married, got kids, with a dude doesn't know anything about that. Wow. Wow, Brother Petty's like, how many dudes would still wife up Cassie? Well, at least one. After knowing what she did with Diddy, I know I wouldn't, bro. I wouldn't have wifed her up after she left Diddy before all the news came out. Like, nah, babe, you nuh-uh. I'd have known something was up. Again, this is just talking, and you would talk to folks, you would hear the whispers, people would let you know. Yeah, I worked in the music industry for a little bit. I did street promotion. I was doing like artist development and stuff like that. So I would have, we already heard the stories. But after this case, bro, I guarantee you, once the money rolls in, she got the $30 million, right? What was it? 20 million from Diddy, 10 million from the hotel. She's got 30 million. I guarantee you within the next 8 months that her husband is going to file for divorce so he can get half of that money. And he's going to move on. And to answer your question, are there dudes that would marry her afterward? Yeah, there are. She's still attractive. There'll be dudes that'll take her on. Absolutely. Her and her kids. There are dudes out there, man, which is crazy. Which is crazy. That's just how the game is, bro. Like I said, don't hate the players. You can hate the game if you want to, but don't hate the players.
For sure.
She has a higher body count.
Yeah.
But it's not of the number. Yeah. It's her relationship to sex.
Yeah.
Her relationship to body.
Yeah.
That's what guys are looking for. It's like, for example, and I say this to guys, like when a woman cares about how much a guy makes, if you ask a woman, would you rather a man who won the lottery tomorrow or the man who's doesn't have much going, but he's ambitious?
Right.
If she's not a gold digger, she's going with the man who's ambitious, which is most women. Because it's not about the money, it's about what the money represents.
For sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I think it is one of those things where I don't know how much I should disclose this. Maybe I should. Maybe I shouldn't.
Let's go.
Interesting enough, when I've, been, if I'm like just dating, different women, can have different connections, very honest, integral.
Yeah.
And the one who was like the one that guys would consider like a side chick is the one that like provided the emotional vulnerability, provided the space for me to just be who I want to be, provided that space for me to share with her, no judgments.
Bro.
And it's actually crazy because it was like, wow, I wasn't even really in a place to be taking this person seriously. But when a girl's just for you like that as a guy, it does make you reconsider. And you go,
it'll make you re-examine all your beliefs.
It's true.
Because you're out here, they told you to not go for the hoe.
Yeah.
And now you're here with a hoe who is the best girl you've come across at the same time.
It's actually, it's mad.
It will make you reconsider it. And I think as men, there is some re-examining that we all need to do in that direction.
I hope you really enjoyed that clip.
Man, that was fire, bro. Shout out to Kit, man. Stay slick with Kit, man. Make sure y'all check out his podcast, bro. Support that brother, man. That's our cousin over there on the other side of the pond, as they say. You know what I mean? Support that brother, man. Show him some love. Share his content, all that good stuff. Go over there and like that on his page if y'all can. There's this link in the description below there. There's this link in the chat as well. We live in a world where the taboo of the promiscuous woman has been lifted. But in reality, it's still there. But you still have to deal with the fallout from that. So, man, that's cool what he just shared. Is like, look, I was dealing with a woman, just a woman he got in this loose rotation. A chick he ain't even looking at like that. She's something to do, just something, whatever. But he was going through something. She was right there. And like he said, no judgment, boom, boom, boom. She was right there supporting me, doing everything. Without me even having to ask, she was there. She's holding it down. And he's like, man, I got to look at her different now. Like, yeah. I know she's a 3 or 4, but she's got my back. Bro, that's the world we're in now, fellas. That's the world we're in. This is why y'all gotta get your game up, get your experience in there, and then you're gonna have to make up your own mind as to how you're gonna handle this. It ain't like when I grew up, bro. It would have been great to be 50 years old in the 1970s, the 1980s. Although for me, it would have came with its own challenges. You know what I mean? It was different for black folk back then. But I'm talking about overall society. But within the community, within the women, we had great women. That's like, I remember going down to Atlanta in the 1980s, bro. I'm telling you, that's when Young girls will serve you your food. They'll come up. You over at the house. All the men sit down. They had the boys sit down at the table, and all the girls and the ladies and the girls go. They cook the food. They bring the food, and they put it in front of you. They, you know what I mean? They serve you. Bro, that was just how it was. I remember that. I remember women just, at home, they get you ready for school. You know what I mean? They kiss their husbands goodbye when their husbands go out. They done woke up and made breakfast and everything. They standing there at the door, kiss their husband goodbye. Then they go upstairs, wake the kids up, get them ready, make them wash their face and hands, cook them breakfast and everything else. Then, walk them to school or put them on the bus or whatever. Then they go back in the house and they cleaning and doing everything. Wow. What a life. What a life. But that shit's over. It's gone. It's gone. You know what I mean? And Brother Mike was like, I'm a 70s baby. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I remember seeing it, man. I remember seeing it, but it's gone now. Now, is it gone forever? Is it gone for everyone? No. Are some women out there coachable? Yes. Yes. And you find a woman who's coachable, but she done made some mistakes. What do you do? Right? What do you do? Well, I ain't got the answer for y'all, man. Each man has to answer that for himself. Right? We each got to deal with these issues on our own. All I'm saying is go out here, get gamed up, learn this stuff, and figure it out. Figure out what's important to you. Weigh all that versus whatever she did or whatever she's doing, and then make your choice. That's where we at. That's where we at, bro. Right? Because it's like, if it's about body count, well, this girl only got 6 bodies. Yeah, but 4 of them came from an orgy, bro. 4 of them. 4 dudes ran a train on her. That's where 4 bodies came from. And then she had 2 dudes after that. Or maybe 5 guys ran a train on her and she had 1 dude after that. And you want to be number 7? Or you got a woman who she was in, 8 relationships, 9 relationships. But she was committed to each dude, whatever. It's like, well, it's all about body count. Well, you got to go with the girl who got the 5 bodies. She got 6 bodies or whatever. She got the orgy plus 1, the orgy plus 2. She's got less bodies than the girl with 9 who's never been in the orgy. She ain't never had a train ran on her. What are you going to do? That's the question. You know what I mean? That's the question. Yeah, I went to Freaknik. I went to Freaknik and I got home from the Army in 94. So it must have been the summer of 94. Maybe it was 95. I'm gonna check with my cousin to find out which Freaknik that was. But we went to Freaknik when there was no control from law enforcement, bro. Like really, we just took over the streets. It was crazy. And then the year after that, Atlanta shut it down. Like it was like really restricted. And I think Freaknik died soon after. So whatever year that that song Tootsie Roll came out, they shot the video. We walked past the video. They was asking if we wanted to be in the video. They were shooting that video in Atlanta during Freaknik. Tootsie Roll, Tootsie Roll to the left, that video. So that was the year of Freaknik. They were shooting that video. So whenever the video came out, it must have been that summer before the Freaknik we were in. So I want to say that was 95. Let's say it was 95. But Freaknik was crazy, man. So there it is. Yep. So it was 94 then. So if the last Freaknik, I think they shut Freaknik down 2 years after we went. So we went to the best Freaknik. Like I said, Tupac was alive. He was there. We saw Tupac. He was like the next car over, talking to some chick. We had MC Breed, was popping back then. MC Breed was down there. That's like Ain't No Future in Your Front was like the hit. So whatever year that was, I want to say that was 90. I think it was 95. I think it was the summer of 95. But it could have been the summer of 94. Shit, man, let's look it up. Give me a second. Give me a second. Let me look it up. Let me look it up. You already looked it up for me. There it is. It was the summer of 94 then. Well, yeah, Freaknik was the spring of 94. So yeah, they were doing Tootsie Roll. They shot that video and put it out that same You know what I'm saying? That same year. So that's what it was. Yeah. Yeah, bro. So we were down there in 94. And then 2 years later, 95, 96. I think 96 might have been the last one. I think. But 94 was the last good one. The one in 93 was nice. 94 was like the best one. It was crazy. That weekend was, man, the stuff that I saw, man. Stuff that we saw that weekend. Insane. Insane. But now, because even we were down at Freaknik, the stuff that women were doing, the young girls were doing, to us, we were like, man, these girls are wild. But now that's the norm. It seems like all these women are doing it, not just the girls. Y'all seen all the talk about the teacher bae, teacher babe or whatever, the teacher bae. This woman, she's a teacher at an elementary school, and she comes to work dressed like she going to the club or something, man, like super tight clothes on, man. Like it's just ridiculous. It's just what's going on in today's society is insane. Like I said, it's just no shame, allegedly. But women know what time it is, so they gonna go out here, they make some mistakes, and then there you are. And she's like the perfect woman for you, and she's keeping it 100. She's telling you the truth. Like, well, I did this. This video's out here. I did that. And you sitting there like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Man, that's 31 years ago. Yeah, bro, I told you I'm old. I'm in my 50s, bro. I'm in my 50s, man. He's like, he was 11. My brother was just a little bit older than you, man. My brother might have been 14. My brother he's maybe 3 years older than you, man. But he was in Freaknik with us. He was right there with us. And that's just how we get down, bro. But yeah, man, it's up to y'all, bro. Like, so are all women 304s? No, but there's a little 304 in every woman. Yes. You know what I mean? And it's your job as a dude to get out here and just figure this shit out, bro. You're going to have to get out here, become the best version of yourself, get into these streets. You're going to have to get your experience level up. You're going to have to talk to some of these women. You're going to have to know what you're dealing with because you're going to have to, at some point, choose. Right? You're going to have to, at some point, choose if that's what you decide to do. So in order to give yourself the best chance, you're going to have to get out here and get experienced and let it do what it do, bro. And all I can tell you is until you are certain that she's the one and she's been properly vetted, do not allow your emotions out. Don't do it. Fight those emotions. It's so easy, especially when she's fine. It's so easy to allow your emotions to just slide out, bro. They just slide out. Don't let that happen, man. Keep those emotions in until you vet the woman to make sure that she's the one. Make sure that she's the one. And what Kit was just saying is like, bro, I got this woman. I was dealing with this chick. She's a 304. She's blah, 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 blah. But she's the real one. She's got me. She's got my back. She's down. She's holding it down. What do I do? And that becomes your issue. At your point, you got to make that choice, bro. You gotta make that point. Yeah, Fresh and Fit said they're quitting YouTube, bro. They said that a couple weeks ago, as a matter of fact. I was watching Anton Daniels. They had Anton on, and I think they mentioned it that they were gonna quit YouTube and just go 100% Rumble. I mean, it is what it is, bro. That's gonna open up a huge market share in this space for a lot of folks. As not everyone is gonna follow them over to Rumble. They have a huge Rumble following, but I don't see that YouTube crowd going over to Rumble. Not all of them anyway. So it's gonna open it up, man. And yeah, Myron and Fresh are dealing with some stuff, man. I just, I wish they would stay away from the politics. I wish they would stay away from the racial stuff. But I mean, that's what they do, man. They're grown men. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. It clouds everything. It muddies the water. So when they're sitting there, they're talking about dating dynamics and they're giving good advice to dudes. But at the same time, they got to answer for a lot of the racial stuff. And, it's a lot of dudes over there in the Fresh and Fit world now, especially on Rumble. They like to use the N-word. They like to call people monkey. They like to do all this stuff. They say a lot of stuff in the chat, right? And these white boys don't realize that, bro, we'll find you. like, bro, who you talking to? There's people out here to come see you, man. They'll find you like the crazy dude found Nick Fuentes, bro. And that was a crazy dude. Same people will find you, bro, and come see you. So That's why I had to float away. Like, nah, man, I can't be over there for all that. But like I said, when they're talking about social marketplace and they're talking about that sort of thing, bro, when they're talking about how women mate select and being, you know, what you need to do to be a guy that women want, I agree with all that. I agree with all that. And like I said, and just for the record, man, I ain't got a problem with Myron and Fresh. I think they're good dudes. You know what I mean? I ain't got to agree with your politics. You know what I mean? Simply because I don't agree with your politics don't mean I hate you. Nah, I'm going to stay over here. When it comes to politics, I'm going to stay over here. You do that. You know what I mean? But if we're talking about this, we're talking about being the best version of yourself. We're talking about how to improve yourself. We're talking about all this, you know, how to find yourself a good woman and all that. Yeah, okay, I'm with you on that. You know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? Brother Smith was like, I saw Myron show Myron Gaines X channel. He is losing 30 to 90,000 a month. Damn, for real? And that's Myron and Fresh they're trying to help the people that work with them, bro. They got a lot of people that they pay. Like it's, you know, shout out to them. You know, shout out to them for keeping those people on as long as they could. You know what I mean? As long as they can. Like they're, you know, Fresh mentioned on the show, they're like, we got to start firing some people or whatever. They're taking care of a lot of people. So man, to be losing $30,000 to $90,000 a month, bro, that's major. That's major. You know what I mean? Michael's like, yeah, he would wifey up the virgin girl from the Fresh and Fit. I know they are they're a needle in the haystack. Bro, my point is this. That girl you're talking about, she said she was a virgin. She looked the part. She spoke the part. All that good stuff. She was, you know what I mean, elegant and all that. Bro, she could be a freak, man. You don't know. You won't know until you got this, you know, sit down and talk to her. That's the only thing I'm saying. And if you do your due diligence, you vet her and you find out that she is in fact all those things, then yeah, man, you found the needle in the haystack. Lock her down ASAP. Right? But understand that those women are so rare, bro. That's the point I want to make. I just want to bring that home. It is so rare in today's world to find that type of woman. Man, I'm here to tell you, especially when it comes to virgins, I ain't never seen one. I've never come across a woman, grown-up woman in my life that was a virgin. Never. I mean, maybe, you know, unless we're going to count elementary. We count elementary school. Okay, cool. Yeah, it wasn't nobody doing nothing in elementary school. But from high school and beyond, certainly college, nah. Even in high school, like the people in our circles, man, you know, as you grow up, you go back and people talk. It's like, yeah, who so-and-so, she was so innocent. They're like, nah, she wasn't innocent. Little shorty had, you know, she done deleted 2, you know, pregnancies and she was doing this and that. She was smashing this person, that person. Like, damn, for real? Yeah, you want to see pictures? Like, what? Pictures? Like, yeah, they got pictures, bro. So you just never know. And then the girls that everyone said, oh, she's a freaky tales and she was this and that might have been the virgin. Like no one ever, she might have been the one that never had nobody in high school. But by the time she got to college, boy, that changed. So if you can find a woman, and then people say, I want to go to another country. Okay. You don't think they doing it over here, bro? I don't care how poor the country, man. Sex is free. You know what I mean? Sex is free. And again, definitely. And these are the things you got to think about too, like getting the government involved and all that. Yeah, man, you talking about getting married. I mean, if you're going to get the government involved, make sure you got a prenup. You got a prenup, you're going to have a postnup. You're going to make sure that she understands that like these documents protect us so the government doesn't come and rip apart what we build. Yeah, absolutely, bro. Brother Smeebles, man, $30,000 to $90,000 a month. I didn't know that, man. He's like, and they're losing that from YouTube. Well, he isn't receiving because they're demonetized. Okay, I see what that is. So yeah, that's what they were making before YouTube. YouTube monetized Pearl, but didn't monetize Fresh and Fit. I wonder why that is. But yeah, man, they're hemorrhaging money. They got the Rumble deal, so I know like they got some money from Rumble. I think Myron and Fresh will be okay no matter what happens. They're gonna be fine. I think that they're really just trying to help the people that are working with them. They got folks who committed to them early on, and they're trying to take care of them. Like I said, I don't have a problem with Myron and Fresh. I don't rock with their politics. But when we're talking about this sort of stuff, yeah, I'm with them 100%. You know what I mean? And like Brother Michael's like, I ain't involved in the government at all. I ain't getting married. I'm gonna get married in the church. I'm gonna, get the government out of my business. I'm with you. If you can pull that off, outstanding. Me, if I were to get If I were to get married with the government, which I think your plan is better, keep the government out your business. But for those people who decide they're gonna get married, all I got to say is make sure you got your paperwork in order. Get your prenups, get your postnups, and all that kind of stuff in order. Make sure those documents stay up to date. And you need to structure your finances to where if something happens and she gets an attorney can maneuver through all of your prenups, or the judges say these are invalid, you don't own anything. Right? You don't own anything. Like, about the time they figure it out, like, yep, I work for this LLC that's owned by that trust, which is under that S corp, which is owned by that corporation. Like, all that's over there. I don't own none of that. I get paid $8,000 a month from the corporation to do what I do. Right? My daughter's trying to make some. Why don't you at least pull the paper out? She's trying to make some cinnamon rolls, y'all. And she doesn't like to take the wrap out here. She doesn't like to take the wrapping off. Oh, Bobby, can you take the wrapper off? But here's the thing, though. If I'm not here to take this off, if I'm not here, she somehow figures it out. Don't you? Yeah, over there laughing. Can you do it from here? Throw that bottle away from me. Thank you. Who loves you? Children are amazing, bro. Once you do find the right woman and y'all figure out like that and how you're gonna do it, I mean, it's just, I can't ever really be mad when my daughter's here, bro. It just makes everything better. Just the stuff she don't like today, bro. Just a real quick aside. Before I started shooting this, made some what did I make? Meatloaf and mixed vegetables, like some peas, corns, carrots. All that stuff was done. My daughter comes out of her room, she's smelling food. I'm sitting down, scrolling through YouTube. Like, okay, what are we gonna talk about? What are we gonna talk about? And she's in the kitchen and I'm looking at her like, what are you doing? Like, she's like holding up the pancake batter box. Like, she's like got pancake mix. I'm like, oh, you gonna make some pancakes? She's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, you're gonna make some pancakes. So I get up and I walk over there and I look. She's got a plate of food already. She's got meatloaf, she's got the vegetables, she's sitting there eating, and she's sitting there getting everything out so she can make these pancakes. And I just look at her like, you eating. She just started smiling. I just shook my head and walked away, bro. I'm like, we got too much. We got a full meal here, and you making pancakes. But she put the pancakes away. I didn't say nothing. I was like, all right, if you're going to make them. But I think she realized I wasn't going to make them. Like, I already cooked. Like, I'm not going to make you pancakes. So she put the pancakes away. Guess we're having pancakes tomorrow. But the thing is this, man, kids are amazing. And I just wish that I was able to give my daughter what I didn't have, which would have been like mom and dad in the same house and all that. Couldn't make that happen. Fellas, if y'all can, you young guys out there, be careful. Y'all know how the game is played. Y'all know what's going on. Y'all saw what was going on with Brittany Renner and PJ Washington. That is all too common. You guys saw what was going on with Sadia Khan. You know, I mean, you guys hear all the stories about, what happens in family court, bro. Do what you have to do to protect your legacy, and do what you have to do to keep from doing the stupid stuff, right? Learn these things, understand the game, so you don't get yourself in a situation where you're kind of like me. It's kind of like, damn, I wasn't able to give my child that. I can get anything else and everything else, but I couldn't give her that. And that sucks. And I grew up without that. You see how it just keeps happening, right? It's like a cycle, generation after generation. Whereas my counterparts who grew up in the suburbs, they had mom and dad in the house. White or black, doesn't matter. They had mom and dad in the house. So when they got older, boom, they're there with their wife and their kids. So their kids have mom and dad in the house, and so on and so on. Don't break the cycle is all I'm saying. Or in my case, break the cycle. Break the cycle and get a woman in the house and raise your kids as a traditional family. And if you come from a traditional family, don't break the cycle. Stay there, at least for the kids if you can. You know what I mean? My bad. I just, whenever my daughter comes up, I get happy when I see her. But, yeah, man. Brother Michael, if you can avoid having the state involved in your wedding, that's your marriage, it's the best way to do it. But remember, they got common law stuff and all that, man. So make sure you up on all the laws so no one comes and hits you over the head with some law that you weren't ready for. And financially structure yourself to where if you didn't catch everything, it's not gonna hurt you, right? Brother Smith was like, I only get married if my nana's alive, grandma, and if in the church without getting the government involved. I mean, that's something that, you know, you hear that too, man. That's real talk right there, man. You know, Smith was to get married for grandma. I ain't mad at you, bro. That's showing that love, you know what I mean? But if you do get married and you can get it within the church, Catholic church or whatever church, and it's, you know, or if you like of Muslims, faith, Islamic faith or whatever, if you can do it in the church and keep the government out of it, great. That's the way to do it. But make sure you have your structure there too, in case you miss something. You know what I mean? Brother Mike was like, yeah, 42, very picky. Yeah, bro, that's good. That's good. Like I said, don't get caught up. That's the problem with getting this. You know, we were talking about going out here and getting this experience, you know, having a body count of 50, bro, you're going to slip up. You're going out here trying to smash 50 women, bro, you're gonna slip up. You're going to run into something, you know, unprotected. You're going to shoot the club up. And, bro, once that happens, especially if you're doing well and she's into you and she can see you got something, you're better than the other deadbeat that she was messing with. Like, oh, that dude over there's a deadbeat. That's a Pookie or a Ray Ray. This man over here has a career. He has a good job. He has a house. He has money put away. Yeah, she's going to say you the dad. The society's going to come after you. Right? And there's some countries that I think, like in France, they were saying you can't even ask for a DNA test. I just want to make sure. Like, it's not my wife. I just want to make sure. You can't even do that. Right? At least in America, you can do that. Like, I want a DNA test just to be, you know, make sure that's the one. So, just be careful, fam. Be careful out there, but don't run from it. You know, relationships are great. Kids are amazing. All that good stuff. If you can figure that out, man, I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. But you got to put in the work, become the best version of yourself first. You got to get women to even see you before you can even have this discussion. So, and just remember, all women, you know, they got a little freak in them, just like dudes. You know what I'm saying? Brother Michael's like, yo, if he's financially free, he's like, I'm having kids because I want kids out of wedlock, no offense to the child. Yeah. So he's like, bro, he's like, look, if I am not financially free, I am having kids because I want kids. I think you meant to say I am not having kids because I don't want to have kids out of wedlock. I think that's what he wanted to say. Right? Pretty sure that's what you wanted to say. So, and bro, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. That was my plan. My plan was not to have kids. I was gonna get married and then have kids. But hey, the best laid plans. You know what they say, bro. So I wasn't able to get there. Yeah, and he's trying to say, yeah, if I'm not financially free, I am not having kids out of wedlock. Yeah. So no, man, and ain't nothing wrong with that, bro. But here's the thing. Prior to YouTube, prior to this whole revamp of the manosphere, like, you know, coming from the men's rights activist MRA movement to where we are now, prior to this technology, dudes weren't having this conversation. You got young kids now saying, nah, man, I got work to do. You got dudes in the gym, young guys in the gym, you know, young guys trying to figure out how they're going to make their fortune. Right? You got young guys. Look, it used to be, go to college, you're going to get a good job. All right, now you got kids like, nah, I ain't trying to waste that money. All right, if I have to get a degree, I can get a degree from the city college. Like, so young men are really changing the way that they attack life, which is good. Guys are like, they're in the gym. There's not a lot of them, but it's more than when I was coming up. Young guys are buying property. You got guys who are looking to make investments, be it Bitcoin or real estate or gold and silver. We didn't have this technology. And one of the good things from this technology is guys are out here doing the work. You're always going to have that big chunk of dudes, the victim mindset, everybody gets a trophy, them guys, you know, you're going to have them dudes that don't want to do any work, the mama's boys, I'm going to live in grandma's basement, them dudes, right? But we still got guys out there who are young dudes out here like, though, I ain't messing with these girls. You know, vices are way down. Young kids aren't drinking in the numbers that we drink. You know, young kids aren't smoking, like using other chemicals and whatnot, right? They're not smoking cigarettes. They're not smoking vapes as much. They're not, you know, doing, you know, marijuana. They're not, bro. It's like a whole shift in the mindset. And these young men know, like, well, I got to do the work. And so by the time I'm 30, 35 years old, I'm financially free. then, you know, I'll get to the finish line. And then these women will be waiting for me, and they will. So, you know, thanks to Rich Cooper, thanks to Rollo Tomasi, thanks to Michael Sertan, you know what I mean, Psych Hacks, Dr. Orion Taraban, you know what I mean? And then when the guys get married, they're like, nah, we got to have the prenups locked in. Thanks to James Sexton. So there's a lot going on, man. Right? And look, Smeebles is saying that too, man. He's like, I'm at that point too. You know, I need more money before I even want to think about kids. Smart. Like, I left a great woman because of it, but she was older than me, and the clock was ticking. Only 33 years old, got heaps of time. Right. If you're a 33-year-old dude and you're dealing with a woman who's older than you, bro, she's already at risk, you know what I mean, for high risk pregnancy and stuff like that. So for someone like Smeebles, you know, he puts in another 7 years, gets where he wants to be financially. He's 40. He can still go get a 22-year-old, and it'll work. He can still go get a 22-year-old, man, have as many kids as he wants. He's going to have a woman who's probably going to be coachable, right? No one was having these conversations when I was y'all age, bro. This was not something we talked about. I think it's a good thing that there's so many young men out here talking about this. This is the stuff that mainstream media doesn't want to talk about. They're like, oh, the red pill is bad. Manosphere is bad. But they don't want to talk about this part. It's because dudes are like, nah, I'm not going out here wasting my money on this. I'm not going to go out here, you know what I mean, go to college and get caught up in that debt trap and all. Nah, I'm about to go over here, go to a trade school. I'm going to, you know, find a grant or something so I can get the money back right away, or have a job guarantee lined up. That's what dudes are doing. Young men are looking at that like, oh, what's AI going to take over first? Like, let me be a pipe fitter, because they don't have an AI bot for that yet, but they got plenty of AI bots for lawyer, you know what I mean, for insurance adjuster. They got AI for that. So, yo, let me go over here where at least I can do this labor over here, but I'm going to get some good money for it. You know what I mean? Smee was like, never did any drugs. That's what's up. And very rarely drink. That's what's up, man. Hey, man, 1 or 2 drinks a year. That's what's up, bro. Stay healthy, stay smart. You know what I mean? Stay on what you're doing. That's the plus side to this technology. That's the plus side to the manosphere. Having these conversations. Are all women 304? No, but you know what I mean? But when having these conversations, bro, we didn't have this technology. We couldn't even link up. I was in my bubble. You in your bubble. Brother Michael's in his bubble. You know what I mean? Brother Smee was in his bubble all the way over in Australia. Right? Brother Dino Dinosaur's in his bubble all the way over in London. Now, you got people in their different bubbles, man. We never met. But now with this technology, man, we get to talk every night. Right? We get to talk every single night, bro. And this is the good part. This is the good part. I do like this part. Right? And if I can help, the younger guys, man, not have the same misstep that I had, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, if just one misstep that I had about 8 years ago, and that one misstep has cost me over $1 million to date. Over $1 million. Right? And we still got a long way to go. So, bro, I'm here to tell you, man. Soak this information up. Learn this stuff, bro. Use it to your advantage. And go out here and be successful. And, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, bro, you can go out here and be in your 50s, right? And then, been done earned yourself $2-3 million in your 50s. Right? You could take $1 million, bro. You can invest that $1 million in a couple of insurance policies. Like, you can get some insurance. This is going to guarantee you a 10% return. $100,000 a year just on that. You still got another $1 million to play with. Think about that, bro. Think about that. And then you can lose your mind. You're like, I'm going to get fixed. I'm just going to go out here and lose my mind. I'm going to go out here and just smash everything I see. All right, cool. If that's what you want to do. There are dudes who do that, man. They get out here and they just start playing. Get the Lamborghini, get the Ferrari. You know what I mean? Start out just credits perfect. They out here traveling the world. And they getting it. Every time they touch down somewhere, they getting it. Because there's going to be some woman there that's about it. All you got to do is she just wants to have a nice little fling for the weekend. There's dudes who want to do that. You know what I mean? If you want to have kids, you can do that. He was like saying, if I have a daughter, no hair weaves. Yeah, bro, listen, luckily my daughter has really good hair. So I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about the eyelashes, the hair hats, like you said, man. My daughter doesn't like makeup. She's not girly like that, which is great. She's beautiful. It's just cool. I'm always talking to her about it, man. And yeah, all you gotta do is really talk to your kids, man. It's not normal. Most little girls don't want to dress like that. They just want attention. And if you explain to your child the difference between good attention and bad attention, they're not gonna do it. My daughter and I'll be driving around. I'll see a girl with like booty shorts on or whatever, cheeks hanging out. You know what I mean? Got like a little bitty top on, like, you know, breasts hanging out. And I point to, I say, hey, you think that's appropriate? My daughter look over and she's like, nah, that's not appropriate. Why? She's like, you don't get too much attention. It's the wrong kind of attention. Right? So that's what you want, man. And your kids will be wearing hoodies, you know what I mean, baggy clothes, just dressing like kids. And if they come to you and say, I want to wear this, I want to wear that, I want to get a dress for this, I want to go to this event, they're going to want you to go shopping with them. My daughter doesn't even like stuff with cleavage, which is great. So we're like, all right, we're going to probably get like her prom dress. When it's time for prom, we're going to probably get her dress specially made. You know how hard it is to go out and just find a dress, a regular dress for a kid that doesn't show any cleavage? It's almost impossible. That's society. That's society doing that too. But when I grew up back in the 80s, you can go out and there was no cleavage. All this was, it was covered up. There was no bikinis. Women came, they had the one piece, bathing suit on, man. Wasn't no bikinis, string bikinis and all that, man. Society done changed. And I wish me if I'd known this stuff when I was 18, bro, my God, I'd be up at least 5 million. And that's not an exaggeration. We'd have been buying property back in the 80s. Think about it. I mean, if I'd have been up on this, we'd have been buying property, man, in like 88, 89, 90 in Cincinnati. And I've been recently, because we're looking to make some moves in Cincinnati. So I was looking at the market. Cincinnati is one of the markets that hasn't really, been hit yet. And bro, multifamilies right now, like in the neighborhood on my block, on the street that I grew up on, multifamilies I used to walk by back and forth every day going to school, elementary school. Them things, man, when I was growing up, $20,000 max. We're talking 4 families, right? We're talking, it was duplexes. So like duplexes, triplexes, and fourplexes, right? And this one in particular was it a 4 family? 3 family. This is a 3 family. Back when I was growing up, man, it was maybe $25,000 max, probably less than that. Now, $360,000 for the same property, bro. Same hood. Like I said, I'm from the hood, so we still in the panic zone. $360,000, same property. They have properties worth $400,000 and $500,000 in my neighborhood. Couldn't believe it. I would have owned those things, bro. Like if I'd have known this back then, I'd have owned 1 or 2 of them easy. We had one homeboy trying to talk us into buying properties. He was getting properties for $9,000, man, 3plexes. $9,000. He's like, we got a property over here, man. You can pick it up. We can get that one for like, I think it was like $8,500. Right? It was a 3 family for $8,500, bro. That was 94. That was the same year we went to Freaknik. So yeah, bro, I wish I had known that stuff too. Man, I wish I had known that, bro. Just to put money in, and I think of all the money that I spent on. I mean, I had great experiences, bro. I got to do a lot of stuff. Got to see the world, man. Got to meet folks and all that. But I could have taken a third of that money and just put it into real estate back in Cincinnati. And like I said, bro, 5 million, easy. I'd be up $5 million. Yeah, bro. And it wasn't necessarily slipping. We didn't know, bro. We didn't have this. Right? It was only one dude in the hood talking about doing this. Everybody else was talking about, they talking about the street hustle, the #1 street hustle. Everybody else was talking about that powder. They was talking about that hard. They was talking about that Hayron. They was talking about that. That's what everybody was doing. It was one dude, one of us. He was in the real estate because his dad was in the real estate, and he had his dad in his life. He was the only one. He was like, y'all should do this, man. We weren't hearing that. We was on motorcycles back then, bro. We was getting at it, man. We was getting on these girls, man. It was crazy. Man, I wish I had listened. But this, right now, it's flipped. Now everyone, the message is buy real estate. Buy some crypto, get some investments, buy some gold, buy some silver, which, by the way, you really shouldn't. This is no advice. I'm no financial person. but definitely look at gold and silver. You know, now that's what everyone's doing. Kids want that. Like, yeah, buy me a Bitcoin. Like, what do you want for Christmas? I want a Bitcoin. I want Ethereum. I want this. I want that. That's what kids are asking for. We weren't asking for that. You know what I mean? Brother Smith was just like, man, my parents always told me to do the opposite because they just didn't know and were always setting the old ways of keeping up with the Joneses. Facts, same here, because they didn't have it when they were younger. And the people in my world, like I said, bro, you were either criminal minded or you were a worker bee. And what I mean by that, you were just going to the factory. You had a good job. That was the thing. Just get a good job. Just get a good job. That was the thing. So what does that mean? You can't get ahead with that, bro. Just get a good job. But that's all we knew. Whereas my homeboy, his dad was like, buy property. Buy property. Just let me show you how to leverage this property. You get this one property, and then we're going to show you how to get the equity out and get 2 more properties. I told you this story about when I was working. This was later on. This must have been 96, 97, working on a campaign for city council in Cincinnati. And I worked with a person who won, actually got on the city council. And she told me, buy this property, she's like, buy in this area. She told me, but I got hired by the FAA within 2 years and I was gone. I was out to LA. But she told me to buy if I'd have listened to her. So, you know, the universe was looking out for me. Now it's never too late. I'm definitely making moves now. You know what I mean? It's never too late. Like, it's just, my thing has always been networking. There's some great things going on, but you know, you can't cry over spilled milk. It is what it is. Like, it is what it is. I mean, I'm still retired. I have a great pension. We did a bunch of good things, you know. Yeah, like I said, bro, trust me, it ain't too late, especially for me. It ain't too late. I'm sitting here now because the most important thing for me is to be here for my daughter. It's her last 2 years of high school. I need to be here to talk to her. That's what I'm doing. I'm just waiting. We already got plans. We're already doing stuff. We already know what's going on. I'm going to leave her businesses. I'm going to teach. She's going to learn what I'm doing just by sitting there. And she's going to be like, oh, okay, I see it. She's going to know what time it is. And there's so many licks out here, guys. And like they say, when there's blood in the streets, man, that's when you make your money. And right now, America's in turmoil. It's getting worse every day. It's going to get a whole lot worse before it gets better. And while there's blood in the streets, guys, this is when you make your money. This is when you find the licks. You know, like I'm in Florida right now. The real estate market is crashing. Shh. Don't tell anybody. They don't want you to know. The insurance industry wrecked the condo market in Florida, which began the domino effect. It's going down. Wait till the next storm hits. Wait till the next storm hits. They don't know what to do. It's out of control down here in Florida. All right? Same thing's going on through all the Gulf states and into California. Same thing. There is a quiet housing crisis going on in America right now, and no one's talking about it in mainstream America. Everybody's talking about it on YouTube, but no one's talking about it in mainstream America. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. Right? So don't feel bad for Uncle Saint. Y'all know me. We got it in the mix. I got a lot going on right now. Things are going good. Brother Michael, you're going to be seeing me because my business is going to keep me in South Florida. It's a lot going on down there. I got stuff to do on the entertainment side. It's going to be coming out of Florida, both with podcasting, producing, and promoting comedy shows. That's coming, bro. Plus, you know, like I said, we're already looking in Cincinnati. There's some great deals in Cincinnati right now, by the way. We're looking in Central Florida for some deals. There has been a shift in the housing market, guys. It's happening. It's happening right now. So, you know, don't worry about Uncle Saint. We got plans. We got plans. Brother Smith was like, man, I'm happy I learned these things now because we're at a point when we can actually make real money. Facts. I think after 2027, things are going to be real hard because of AI. Need to get into AI ASAP, in my opinion. Yep. We got an AI guy. Everyone, that's the Wild West is wide open, bro. It is wide open. Get ahead of the wave, guys. Learn as much as you can about AI. I'm trying to figure out, okay, who's going to maintain the equipment, you know, until they come up with the bots, they're going to fix the bots. Humans are going to have to do that. So like start getting hands on, you know, who's going to maintain, you know, these machines. Because you look at what's going on with UPS, you look at what's going on with the American Post Office, you look at what's going on with FedEx and all that in their warehouses, and when they offloading trucks and loading trucks and all that, that's all being automated. It used to be people. I remember I was in Cincinnati. This was like 95, 96, right? And it was Christmas time. So, you know, Christmas people are always hiring. UPS was hiring. And I went in because I already had a job. I was a janitor, a full-time janitor at a high school, right? At this time I was doing my music thing. So I was working for this label called All Net Records, and I was doing street promotion. I was doing artist development. That was kind of like my little side gig. And I was looking for another full-time gig. So I would work from 2 to 10 at the high school. And then I was looking for a job that I could work from like 11 to 7, or maybe find a job that I can work from like 5 until 1. So I would keep 2 full-time jobs, and I always had a side hustle. That's how I did it. So UPS was hiring. It's the holiday season. UPS was hiring. This is when we had to go get a paper and look at the one ads, right? That's how, like y'all know I'm old, right? Get out the paper, look at the one ads, circling the jobs you think you want, writing numbers down. So UPS like, yeah, we're hiring, come on in. And what they would do is they would bring you in, they bring you to this little conference room. And it was, I don't know, it was probably 30 people in there, 40 people in there. Didn't even sit down. I don't sit down. They listen, you guys have the job, you guys are hired. But what we're going to do is we're going to show you exactly what you're going to be doing. All right. We want to show you that first. And if you like what you see, come back to this room, and then we'll start the paperwork and we'll get you on a schedule. You'll go to work tomorrow. I mean, they were like that. You'll be working tomorrow. And this is how much it pays. It was like minimum wage back then, whatever it was, $7 an hour, $9 an hour, whatever it was. And then for those of you who don't want to do it, if this isn't for you, that's fine. Just instead of coming in this room, just leave. Thank you for coming. So they took us into the back, onto the work floor, where they had those semi trucks will back up. Like, so you're in this big ass warehouse and get all these semi trucks that back up, right? And they have like a conveyor belt. And they put you in the truck with this conveyor belt, and you just offload the boxes. And they had this big horn that would go off. So it would, the horn would tell you when to go on break and then when to go back to work. Man, it was crazy, man. It's like being in the Matrix or something, bro. Like, so you had these people, they put you into that truck, bro, and you just got to take these boxes, and you were supposed to empty one of those big old 18-wheeler semi-trucks. You're supposed to do like 1 per hour or something like that. You're supposed to empty out the whole truck in an hour by yourself. It's just you and the conveyor belt. Like, you in there, you go in a little bit deeper, somebody pushes the conveyor belt in a little bit more, you just putting the stuff on the conveyor belt. When the horn blows, you take a break, and then the horn blows, you get back to it. And that's how they hired their people for UPS. And of course, you can move up. There was upward mobility if you wanted it. That's how people became drivers or management or whatever, right? Man, I saw that. Like, nah, there's no way in hell I could do that. The people who were working were drenched in sweat, bro. They were just in there doing this thing, man. I was like, damn. Now, of course, they don't do that anymore. They got robots. They got robots in there offloading these trucks, and then, doing their thing. Is all automated. So all those jobs are gone. But man, I looked at that. I'm like, no, no. Next time I'm in Miami, brother, I will meet you at Dolphin Mall. I promise. I'll let you know when I'm coming, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'll DM you or something like that on Insta. Let you know like I'm coming, bro. I'll be right at the bar, right there in the middle of the bar, man, sipping on a pina colada with Hennessy in it. I call them Henny Coladas. So, and we'll be down there too. We're coming down to watch the Bengals play, so we'll be down there pretty soon. It's a night game. I got to check the date. But yeah, we're gonna be down there, bro, because the Cincinnati Bengals are coming down to play the Miami Dolphins. We're coming down to watch that game. It's gonna be a night game, so we'll be down the day before at least. So I'll let you know, fam. And it's like looking into Dark Factory, man, production factories with all the robots and AI and people on call for some maintenance stuff if need be. Yeah, that's the stuff, bro. That's you know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with just being able to go out there and just do some manual labor and make some money. But you should have a plan. Like the plan should be to start a business that provides that service. You know, like for me, we're into everything from production, script writing to trucking. Like we're into everything, bro. And we're starting to get into some middleman stuff. Like we're starting to middleman some trucking. We're starting to middleman, trying to middleman some government contracting. That's hard to break into. That it's government contracting is just hard to break into. But there's space for people at the bottom. We're trying to get into that. So Fed.gov is that's the spot. So. Anyway, man, I'm just rambling here. We were supposed to just be talking about, are all women 304s? No, but all women have a little 304 in them. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Shout out again to Stay Slick with Kit. Definitely go over there and support his channel, guys. He's doing great work over there. Brother Smith was like, he's like, I know a bloke making $30K a month from AI OF content. Man, that's if you can pull it off, man, and OF ain't going nowhere, man, you should be doing that too. Like real women, no need for OF. So, yeah, man, people making money off the AI women too. We're going to talk about that as well. But appreciate y'all rocking out with me, man. Brother Michael, Brother Smeebles, Brother Pitney, man, everybody who showed up. I know Mandrell was here. Man, I appreciate y'all. I'll definitely be back tomorrow. We're going to be talking about, maybe we'll talk about some AI stuff. Maybe we'll talk about the AI bots, the sex bots that are taking over. And maybe we'll look at that. Maybe we'll look at the real estate market. But we're going to definitely look at some stuff, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you, Brother Pitney, man. This was fun, man. We're going to keep it going. Like I said, man, you guys are going to notice some things coming forward, man. Like the next 18 months. Watch, bro. And I promise y'all, I'm never going to forget you guys, bro, because you guys have been rocking with me from day one. Never going to forget y'all, man. Never. You know what I'm saying? I got plans that include you guys. Trust me when I say I got some things I want to give you. You know what I mean? Just so you guys know, it'll be stuff that you can't buy. So that's it. That's all I got, man. Appreciate you. That 304 thing, man, I did enjoy this conversation. This was a good conversation, man. Be careful out there, fellas. The world's changed, man. So just stick to what you're doing, stick to your guns. And when it comes down to making a decision, man, just go ahead and make your decision a well thought out one and then stick. That's it. That's all I got to say about that. I'm DL Saint. This is the I Really Want to Know podcast, man. I'm going to holler at y'all later, man. Peace.
Nothing like I've ever seen. It's just a thing of beauty.
Darn, that's the end.